Zoom interview. We are Matt and Jennifer Lucas of the Franchising Company, and we're interviewing some of our favorite brands in the franchising industry. Digging into some information that you would want to know that's not easily obtainable by just going to Google.
And today we are so excited. We're going to be talking with one of our favorite brands, the best opportunity you've never thought of. Got you covered. We'll be talking with Hannah and just digging into this model. So, hey, Hannah.
Hi, I'm so excited to share more about Got You Covered and why we're the best opportunity you've never thought of.
Well, let's start there. So tell us a little bit about Got You Covered and why do you call it the best opportunity you never thought of?
So Got You Covered is in the home services space. We're in the window treatment industry. So we do everything for the interior of the window for both residential and commercial customers. Blinds, shutters, shades, draperies, window film, very involved in the connected home, motorization. We've recently started to work on some outside options too. So windscreens, sunscreens, motorized awnings. We have a private label with a manufacturer for those outside options as well. But the reason we say we're the best opportunity you've never thought of is because I'm pretty sure, Matt and Jennifer, no one comes to you saying, hey, I want to open up a custom window treatment business. Can you help me? Or no one grows up thinking they're going to do that, right? But once you start to dive deeper and you understand lifestyle flexibility, financial potential, and what the day in the life really looks like with this brand, then again, it becomes the best opportunity you've never thought of.
And windows are everywhere.
Windows are everywhere. Look around you.
So you touched on it a little bit, but this isn't just business to consumer or residential. It's also business to business, right?
Right. I would tell you though, the majority of our revenue is definitely generated on the residential side, but there's a reason for that. The residential side is an easier sale. You collect a deposit, it covers the cost of your goods, extremely cash flow friendly. When you move into the commercial space, there tends to be some moving parts, especially with large scale commercial, blueprint reading, insurance, bonding, that kind of stuff. And our owners don't tend to get paid right away. Like a commercial project, they want to pay you when the project's completed. So you're floating the cost of product. So the majority of our owners tend to focus on residential. It's about 80% of the business. We do have a resource though for commercial. So we have a commercial co-op division. If someone has the opportunity to do a commercial project and the heavy lifting is a little too much for them, they can pass it on to us. We'll do the heavy lifting and we'll split the profits with our franchisees.
Oh, nice. I never knew that.
So does an owner need to have an eye for design, like any type of interior decorating background or anything like that?
Huge misconception. And I would say if you have an eye for it, it can make it a little bit more fun and you can kind of talk colors and patterns. But when I look at our franchise system as a whole, which we're at about 170 owners right now, I only know of 2 that have any formal interior design or window treatment experience. Really what they're doing is they're solving a problem. There's always a problem, light control, energy efficiency, privacy concerns. So our owners like to solve problems, and a customer doesn't expect an interior designer to come into their home when they're looking at window treatments. It's really talking about what's going to fit this space and what's going to help with those issues that I have in that room.
Okay, good to know. So in the past, we've referred a lot of our clients to you, and I've sat in on some of the process going through, and I was very impressed by the whole visualizer technology that you guys got going on. So it was very HGTV-ish to me. Can you kind of explain all of that?
Sure. So nothing takes away the touch and feel nature of this business. We do have a lot of visualizer tools that our owners can use. One that is really special to us is called Gotcha Inspired. It's almost like a virtual showroom where you can showcase all the different options that are available for a home. The customer can sort by room, bedroom, bathroom, office, kitchen. This really helps our franchisees specifically because a lot of the times a customer really doesn't know what they need. They're going to say, hey, we redid our kitchen and our cabinets are now white and our blinds are still brown. We need white blinds. And so we're able to use this technology pre-appointment for a customer to really understand what options are available. And then it helps our franchise owners to then come in and say, hey, you added some blind, projects or some blind pictures, but you also added a motorized awning. or you added something for a home office. Let's talk about those types of needs that you may have. So it really helps more with our franchisees being able to understand the needs of a customer, and then helping the customer to visualize, oh, wow, you don't just do blinds. There's a lot of different options that I can opt into using your services.
Okay.
And then from an inventory standpoint, I mean, do owners keep anything in stock, or is it all ordered on an as needed basis?
This is why I love this model. Our owners don't ever buy any product until a customer has said, I want it. Here's my deposit that covers the cost of your goods. So super cash flow friendly, not sitting on inventory. Every window is different. You're not buying a bunch of blinds hoping to sell them.
And what's the speed, like when a customer, or I guess as a franchisee places that order, how quickly do the material typically come in, or how quickly? Yeah.
It depends. Yeah. Average lead time is 4 to 6 weeks if I average everything out. A blind is fast. You can get a blind in 10 days, super quick. If it's a more intricate fabric motorized option, that can be even up to 12 weeks. What we do is we offer temporary options, though, a temporary solution for the customer. So they're not, they still have that privacy or some light control while they're waiting for the product to be delivered. But I would say on average is about 4 to 6 weeks. But again, it does very much depend on product.
On what they're ordering. Okay.
Okay, well, so do owners need to have employees like an install technician, or is it possible for someone like me to install these kinds of products? Not handy is what I'm getting at.
It's a different question than a client.
Yeah.
Our model does lend itself to using more third-party installers, but I would say maybe 10 to 15% of our owners do their own installation. We have a guy in Ohio, $1 million in sales, still does all of his own installation. Honestly, we're like, Brian, are you okay? That's a lot of work. But it is an option for our franchisees. But typically what we train is, hey, we would rather you be out selling than stuck in a home installing all day. So we do have networks of third-party installers that our owners are going to be using, 1099 guys, 1 to 3 that they're kind of cycling through, depending on product.
Okay.
And then, so got you covered as part of a bigger family company, right? 5-star brands. Can you just talk to us a little bit about some of the advantages that you have being part of this larger network?
Sure. So we were acquired a little over 2 years ago, and I was here pre-acquisition. So I really am able to talk to the differences when we were an independent small company, now that we're a part of this larger firm. And really what I've seen is we have access to so much more money than we ever did, and money buys tools, money buys resources. If someone would have joined us 4 years ago and asked, who do I use for credit card processing? We would have said, I don't know, find someone local. Now we have business management operations solutions for our franchisees. We have a 5-star buying group. We have a marketing service. The call center is in-house. It's a US-based call center in Utah that our owners now have access to. And then I think just having access to your peers across the different home services brands, because there's 6 home services brands underneath the 5-star franchising umbrella. The ultimate goal of 5-star is to cross-pollinate leads and customers. We're not there formally yet, but we have opened up channels of communication for our franchisees to work on more of this like organic referral relationship with the other 5-star owners in their area. It's been a very positive experience. And, especially for me being here pre-acquisition, post-acquisition, people get scared about acquisition and what that means, but we've seen a ton of positives come with this transition, and we were ready for, the growth that they've kind of put us on. And again, the tools and resources are just leaps and bounds above what we ever had previously.
Nice. And then do you need any office space? And I mean, can it be ran from home?
So everyone starts out typically home-based, owner-operator. I'm open to having a conversation with someone who may be interested in a semi-absentee model from the start, but I would want that owner to have a manager ready to employ, probably a little bit of skin in the game. But historically, it's an owner-operator home-based model, at least in the beginning. After the first year, though, I've seen a ton of different ways our owners transition or scale. Some people may rent an office and they start to hire employees. They have an office manager, they have a salesperson, or about 12% of our owners have moved to full retail showroom. Our number 1 guy is in Raleigh. He did $3.6 million in sales last year. He has a full showroom, operational staff, operating hours. And then I have owners that have been with us 12 years that are still home-based and they like it that way. A lot of flexibility, highly profitable because you don't have a ton of overhead. Really, really flexible depending on what the franchisee is looking for.
So you mentioned you have someone who's been in it for 12 years. How long is the typical term?
So she renewed. Our terms are
Okay.
10-year agreements. Yep. So she's now renewed her agreement. Well, 10 years, legally you can get out after 6, but you're signing a 10-year agreement.
Okay, it's good to know. So describe who you're looking for, your ideal franchise owner.
A big part of our initial marketing strategy is a strategy that we call ANET, Affinity Network Empowerment Team, which is getting out there in your community and building relationships with other business owners that have a revolving door of your ideal customer. Think interior designers, window replacement companies, realtors. So the person that I like to see has no interior design experience, has no window treatment experience, but they're really good at connecting with people. This is such a people business. People buy from people, people refer to people. Networking is a really big part of our marketing strategy. Now, the number one source of leads is Google. Online is huge. But when I compare the type of lead to closed customer that comes from Google versus the type of lead to closed customer that comes from a referral, it's night and day, the average transaction amount, closing ratio, and margin. So really having the comfort level of getting out there and networking and building relationships with people is really what I like to look for.
Okay.
And then what would you say, obviously for anybody that's watching this video right now, they're clearly looking at other opportunities, right? And there are other franchises in the window covering space. So what would be the biggest differentiators of why somebody would choose Got You Covered over one of their other options?
I love this question because we are the best. First is our online reputation. We have 170 owners now. We're close to 8,000 total reviews across the entire system. And we still average a 4.9 at a 5-star reputation across all times, all locations. I'm not aware of any brand our size that says that they have that type of online reputation. So it's really nice to be able to come in and kind of, jump off of our already undisputed customer service and solutions. We're pretty different in the way that we do our royalty. We are not operating on a percentage-based royalty structure. It's a flat fee that does ramp up over 4 years. Huge financial potential there because as the business grows, the relative cost of that royalty goes down. It's a fixed cost. It's not a variable expense. We are a premium provider. We're not a budget provider. Now, nothing against budget providers, but we're looking to compete for those $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 full projects, not competing for a $700 job. Ability to commercial is a huge differentiator as well. And then we're not the typical man in a van type brand. We don't make our owners buy a van. We don't make them wrap it. They're not doing their own installation. So again, extremely flexible compared to our other competitors, and we don't do repairs.
I always forget about the fixed royalties. That's a big one.
It's huge. I mean, think about the guy doing 3.6 million and he's still capped at $24,000 a year royalty. I mean, we're one of the only brands where your royalty as your business grows could really diminish to less than 1%. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, that is a big deal. Okay, so what about on the consumer side? People that are looking for window treatments, how does Got You Covered stand out?
Sure. So I think our name is pretty nifty, right? That we got you covered. But we work with 17 different manufacturers. That's really huge. That's important. We're going to be able to offer anything anyone could ever want or need for the interior of the window. Any product at any budget really is what we can do. So the options that we have are leaps and bounds ahead of what our competition is typically offering. And then also we do have a nice emphasis on soft goods or the fabric pieces. Now this is depending on owner, but a lot of our local competitors don't do a ton of soft goods like, draperies or curtains. And that's where you see really high margins because the competition really isn't there. So that's a big differentiator. And then again, promoting ourselves as the premium provider and our online reputation is a huge standout.
Okay. And you kind of touched on this a little bit, talk a little bit more in depth on the support that Got You Covered is providing to the franchise owner themselves. I know you mentioned call center and certain other things, but just maybe talk a little bit more in depth about each of those pieces.
Sure. So we have a call center. When someone joins our system, they do purchase a starter package from us, and that includes the setup and 3 months of the call center service. It's a really neat way for our owners to say, oh, wait, this works. I'm going to continue to use the call center service. We also have business coaches that are assigned to our franchisees that are going to have like weekly calls with owners for those first 8 weeks in business, making sure they're launching correctly. We have product specialists on staff. Biggest learning curve with this business is going to be product knowledge. So we do a product specialist on staff to help with any of those questions as well. Our owners also receive vendor specific support. So all the vendors that they're able to purchase product from have vendor reps across the country. They'll meet with them. They're going to be a local level of added support. The way that we work on opening up the channels of communications with the peers of our owners, they're their franchise peers. We have a franchisee Facebook page. All of the time I see pictures of windows. Hey, what would you do with this window? And our other owners are commenting, hey, this is what I would do. Or, oh, wow, you have your first Chamber of Commerce event here. This is what I did that helped me to stand out. So there's some really good peer support as well with our system. We also do advanced training, which is pretty unique. We have an initial training, of course, before they launch their business. But about 6 months later, we do an advanced training. We bring everyone back again, where they've been running their business for 6 months. They now have the questions that they now know what questions to ask, right? It's a larger class. We bring up a franchisee that, hit a first year sales record. They sold 600,000 in their first 8 months in business. And they do a whole day presentation of what did they do? How did they set themselves up for success? A lot of different ways that our owners can find support from us. And I try to remind everybody, you're paying for our support. Royalty pays for support. Use it. There's so many resources and tools. We do rookie roundtables where we welcome every owner that's been in business less than a year to jump on a call and let's talk about your business. Business development webinars where we welcome one owner that's really good at something to talk to everybody else about that topic. There's an internet site. I mean, I could really go on and on. There's tons of resources and tools and support that our franchise owners can expect from us. And the level of support they need year 1 is very different than year 8 when they're thinking, hey, my agreement's up in 2 years. I think I want to sell. What do I do? We're able to help with that too.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow. Okay. All right. Well, I know
I can keep going.
No, well, if you want to,
I'm just kidding.
So I know you mentioned a little bit ago how many franchise owners you have. Do you mind repeating that? And then how many territories on average are your owners purchasing?
So we're right at 170. Previously, historically, we haven't done a ton of multi-packs. That is changing though. So I would say we have about 165 owners across those 170 territories. But we are kind of molding into more of offering and recommending those multi-territories depending on what the, income level is or return on investment that our owner is looking for. But historically, we've done pretty much single packs historically. But that's all.
What kind of investment? Talk to us about the cost to get in.
Sure. So our all-in investment for one territory is between 103 and 136,000. That includes insurance, right? That includes working capital investment for the launch campaign, franchise fee, starter package. They also prepay their annual conference registration. So you're looking at 103 to 136,000 all in with us.
Okay.
And then what about future growth? What does it look like the next 12 to 24 months?
So our goal this year is 40 new owners. So Matt and Jennifer Lucas, I need your help to get there. Please send me all of your qualified candidates.
Okay.
But yeah, our goal is 40 new owners this year. I believe we just had 7 new people come to training last week. I think we're at about 18 so far, new franchisees this year. So still on track to hit that 40 number. Previously, just talking about myself, I awarded 58 new owners over the last 2 years. So a lot of growth happening with our system.
It's exciting.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we love stories. People can really relate to stories. So tell us what off the top of your head is your favorite franchise success story or any story in general, something that's good and noteworthy.
So there's this veteran owner that we have where he came from the military. And he had a career also in IT, and he purchased a territory in Texas. His wife still doesn't work the business with him. It's him all by himself. He has a third-party installer, but he is such a success story. Second year, sold $1 million by himself, netted 330. He'll say this in a validation call. And his tagline is, if I knew now what I knew 10 years ago, I would do it again and I would pay double. If that's not a huge, way to end a call with any potential franchisee. Something else that I think is really neat with our system is that we now have 4 franchise consultants that have purchased our brand. I think that's huge. I mean, how many brands do you guys have access to? Over 800? And we have, franchise consultants to actually move forward with our brand and become a Gotcha Covered franchisee. I think it's just a huge testament to the support, the training, the industry, and the model that we have.
So it sounds to me like we need to purchase a Gotcha Covered.
Here we go. This is how she ends every one of these Zor Zoom interviews is, oh, I think we need to be buying in. So, thank you for sharing everything here today. Is there anything that you feel like a client should know that would be interested in Gotcha Covered that we haven't covered today?
I think really it's getting rid of any of those preconceived notions about this business. It's not a sexy business, right? It's not retail, it's not fitness. But when you dive deeper and you look at the unit level economics, the financial potential, the lifestyle flexibility, I think that's what's so important. So kind of taking a step back and understanding, but what do I want my business to do for me? And then being able to connect the dots that way, I would highly recommend anyone that's listening to this or is exploring franchising in general, to really think of it from that point of view.
It's not about doing something sexy. It's about doing something that can make you money and ultimately get you to where you want to be.
Yes, exactly.
That's how we got our start.
Makes sense.
It is. All right. Well, we will let you go and hopefully send some of our clients your way very soon. I guess that's it. Do you have any other questions?
That's all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.